Hey everybody, it's me, Chris. I'm back over here in the kitchen. I got Jack helping me
Hi.
out. He's not this tall, he's on a step stool, so don't worry, he didn't grow that much. But hey, we got a great recipe for you today. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really easy focaccia bread. We love fresh baked bread. Sometimes I use my pizza dough, but I think a lot of people are really getting into the focaccia now. I see a lot on YouTube and some of the other social media sites. So I figured I'd do my version, show you my version, and it's super easy. And this is designed to be easy, so easy that anybody can make it. You don't need any fancy equipment.
Here's the ingredients you need to make our amazing, delicious, great focaccia bread. First, you need some flour. You need some yeast. I think this is yeast, right? Yeah, that's yeast. You need some salt, extra virgin olive oil, water.
Good job, Jack. So guys, I'm gonna put the recipe in the description here, but I got 4 cups of flour. It's just all-purpose flour. I have the yeast here, a teaspoon of yeast. This is just dry active yeast, but if you're using the packet, you only need half a packet. I got 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons extra virgin olive oil, plus more for later on. And then I have here my water. I like to use natural spring water. It's really consistent, and depending on where you are, you might have hard water, but when I make my pizza dough or bread, I like to use natural spring water. So this is 500 milliliters. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my water, and you can use room temperature. I'm just going to warm this up a little bit in the microwave, maybe about 30 seconds, but you're looking for about between 90 and 100 degrees. All right guys, and now, so my water is warm, and look, it's perfect. It's 91 degrees. Now we're ready to go. So the first thing we got to do, watch how easy this is. So I got my teaspoon of the yeast. I'm going to put that in there. And I forgot to mention an ingredient, Jack. So you can put a pinch of sugar. I like to use a little honey just to get the yeast activated. Just a tiny bit, maybe a half a teaspoon.
Can I pour the olive oil in?
Yeah, we'll put the oil right in there.
Kaboom.
All right, and now all we gotta do is just give this a little stir. So while we wait for the yeast to proof, I got my kosher salt right here in the flour. I'm just gonna give this a little mix. All right, guys, so check it out. So I can already see my yeast is good. I can see it starting to foam up. I don't know if you can see that, but if you look on the side of the bowl, it's starting to get a little foamy, and I can just see it starting to come alive. So I know my yeast is good. And now all I gotta do is just pour this right in. Here, you wanna pour it, Jack? Go ahead.
Of course I will. All right.
Got it?
Yep.
Nice and slow.
At first it doesn't smell that good, but it's going to smell great next.
Go ahead, the whole thing. All right, now what we got to do is, I got my spatula here. I'm just going to start to mix this. Jack, now look.
Okay.
Now the reason I like to use this wooden spatula, it just makes it easier to mix. Because this gets kind of heavy and it's sticky. So I'm going to use both, but I'm going to start to mix this with my wooden spatula, just like this, okay? And then I can come around and I can scrape the sides of the bowl, and I can really start to get this incorporated. And what you want to do is mix until you can't really see any more dry flour. All right, so this looks pretty good. And I was careful to make sure that I scraped all the flour off the bottom. All right, so this is all combined, right? The flour has absorbed all the water, and it's just a big sticky mess at this point. So now all I got to do is I want to scrape this down. You can get rid of this wooden spatula, or if you're using your wooden spoon for now. All right, and I want to scrape the sides of the bowl just like this. Okay, get it all from the sides. Okay, I want to, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So I want to make this into one nice solid mass, just like this. Okay. And now all I got to do, now it's time to let this rest. I'm going to cover this in plastic, or you can use a damp towel and just let it sit there for about 30 minutes. All right, guys, so this is ready now for the next step. So this sat on the counter for about 30 minutes. And you know what? You can leave it longer. That's fine. And what happens is it really comes together and forms into a dough. But it's still very sticky at this point. So I'm not going to even try to pick it up with my hands right now. I got my spatula again. I'm just going to dunk it in some water. It's going to help it to prevent the sticking. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen this up a little bit from the sides of the bowl. And what we have to do here is we got to do some folding to really activate the gluten here and get this into a dough. So just pick it up like that, and if it sticks, don't worry about it. Just take it off and then go from the other side and pick it up again. Okay, and then just drop it right back down. And you can wet your fingers too, and this will help you kind of keep your spatula clean. All right, you could already see, so I did that twice, and look, it's already starting to form a ball. All right, so I'm just gonna do that a couple more times. Scrape down the sides too. And again, I'm not adding more oil yet. I'm just using some water, and then just come right in the middle, pick it up, and then drop it down, and then turn it and go from the other side. Do the same thing. All right, drop it down, and that's it. So now we've got the activation of the gluten going on, and you know, it's still really sticky and just really hard to work with. So we got to leave it and do it one more time. I'm going to let this sit for like another 15-20 minutes and then come back, and then we'll do the final fold. All right, guys, so there's the last step in the process here before we put this away to rise for the final time. So this time it's been sitting for about 15 minutes, and at this point I should be able to work this a little bit with my hands. So this time I'm just going to use a little oil. I'm going to get some on my fingers too. And I'm just going to use, I want to keep one hand clean, but I'm just going to come under, kind of like I did with the spatula, and just pull this thing up and let it fall down. All right, and you see how it already starts to go right into a ball. So just fold it over on itself a few times. See that? It happens actually really easy. And now, look, it's not really sticking that much. You see, it just kind of becomes one regular dough ball, which is exactly what we want. So just do that a couple times, smooth it out a little bit. All right, and then this is why I keep one hand clean. I just take a little bit more olive oil just around the sides like that. I'm going to pick this up and just put a little on the bottom. Okay, and then the last fold here, I just want to make sure that I have this thing with a nice little coating of olive oil, just like that. All right, and then I'll use my spatula here for the last time. I just want to scrape the bowl down a little. I'm going to cover this back up with our plastic wrap, and it's time to put it in the fridge. All right, so there you have it, guys. The focaccia dough is ready, and we're going to leave this out on the counter for about an hour. And then what you do is put it in the fridge, and really you want to let it sit in the fridge at least 24 to 48 hours. You know, great time to do this on like a Friday evening. If you're at the house, you can put it together, throw it in the fridge before you go to bed, and then you bake it off Sunday with your Sunday dinners. All right, guys, so my focaccia dough is ready. And like I said, you can leave this overnight. I did it for 48 hours. So we made this, Jackie, remember, Friday night, and it's Sunday, and we're gonna get ready to bake it. But I wanna show you, before we get into the pan, I wanna show you what this looks like. And take a look at this bubbly, airy dough. And if you look on the bottom, you can see all those air pockets, and you can actually see it jiggle. See, it's going to be nice and light and fluffy. Guys, so now it's time to get this ready to bake. So I got this set here. It comes with a nice cover, but this is just a regular size cookie sheet. That's what I'm going to use. And then also, sometimes I make it in this deep cookie sheet, and you could do that also. You could stretch it out the whole length of the pan. This we're just going to do on a regular cookie sheet and do it freeform. So either way you do it, what I recommend is definitely use some parchment paper. It'll prevent it from sticking. So just take a little cooking spray, and then, you know, it doesn't have to be anything fancy here. Just press it down to fold over the edges. All right, so now we gotta let this proof and come to room temperature. But I got my cookie sheet here. I'm gonna take some extra virgin olive oil, just like this, okay? And then I'm gonna take this dough. I wanna put the top side down first, okay? Right into the oil. You see how airy that dough is, Jack? Nice air pockets, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Now watch this. Now we're just gonna do a simple fold, and you'll see what happens. It's gonna form a rectangle shape. So I'm gonna fold this side over once, like a book, and then this side over once, like a book. And you see how it's already in a natural rectangle shape?
Yeah,
and now we just flip it. All right, so we gotta let this sit in a nice warm spot at least an hour or two, and it's gotta be covered. So either loosely cover it with plastic or a warm kitchen towel. I got this covered here, so I'm gonna use that. All right, guys, so this focaccia has been sitting out for about an hour and a half. It's definitely room temperature, nice and warm. And now we gotta press it out and bake it. Now for toppings, I mean, you could do endless amounts of things. You can cook some onions and peppers. You can cook some tomatoes. You can put raw tomatoes. You can put sliced olives. I mean, there's no limit to what you can put on top. I'm just doing a very simple version to show you how it's done. I'm gonna put just a little bit of Italian seasoning and press it out. All right, so again, very simple. You could do some sea salt too, would be nice on top of here. But I'm just gonna come in a light dusting of Italian seasoning, just for a little flavor on top. And then what I'm gonna do is, you see this excess oil on the sides here? I'm just gonna get that on my fingers first. All right, and then I'm gonna press this out. And that's how you make those signature focaccia dimples. All right, so we're gonna throw this in the oven, again, 500 degrees. I'm gonna set the timer for 10 minutes and then rotate it. I wanna make sure it's cooking even. It should be another 10 minutes or thereabout. I mean, everybody's oven is different. So you figure 20 minutes total, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like after 20 minutes. And now what I'm gonna do, and you see parchment paper really prevents it from sticking. So I'm just gonna put this on this wire rack and let it cool. All right, so I let this cool so it's just warm, but I can work with it. I want to just show you the bottom. Look how nice and airy that is. And now we got to cut it and we're going to try it. So I'll just show you the middle. You can see nice and airy, really great texture. All right, Jack, all we got to do now is try this. So let's give it a bite. I just want to show a close-up of just how nice and airy this is. And look at that texture, so soft.
I call dibs on all the rest of these pieces.
All right, so there you have it, guys. That's how you make a really super easy focaccia. Here, you want a bite? Go ahead, take a bite.
None.
It's so, so good. And, you know, just a few simple ingredients. And most of the time is spent waiting because you got to proof it. A few steps involved, but trust me, you do this once or twice, it's nothing. And you're going to absolutely love it. You'll be making it once a week. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah. I also think you should like and subscribe. And make sure to share this video to your friends and do all that good stuff. And hit the notification button to let you know if there's any new videos.
Hey, thanks for watching, guys. And please make sure you try this focaccia. See you on the next one.